What if a voice memo from your grandma who passed away years ago just showed up on your phone with some new advice? And look, this isn't some far-off sci-fi movie plot. This is a reality we are building right now.
So in this explainer, we're going to dive deep. We're going to get to the bottom of whether AI can actually bring back the people we've lost, what this new digital afterlife industry is really selling, and how it could completely change our relationship with memory and grief. And we'll ask the biggest question of all. Is this technology a new kind of comfort, or is it a curse?
And trust me, the answers, they're way more complicated and honestly, way more urgent than you probably think.
All right, so let's get into it. You've probably heard a few different names for this stuff thrown around. Griefbots, postmortem avatars, but let's call it what it is at its core, a deadbot. So what exactly is a deadbot? Well, think of it like an AI simulation of a real person. You take a powerful AI, something like what runs ChatGPT, and you feed it everything. I mean, everything that person left behind digitally. We're talking all their texts, their emails, their goofy social media posts, even their voice notes and home videos. The AI just soaks it all up. It learns their personality, right? Their quirks, their sense of humor, the way they structured sentences, even the way they made typos. And what comes out the other side? It's like a digital ghost, a ghost you can actually talk to. And I gotta stress, this isn't just some weird fringe idea cooked up in a lab. No way. The digital afterlife industry, it's already here. You've got companies like Project December, Silicon Intelligence, and Superbrain already offering these kinds of services. And you better believe the big guys, the tech giants, are watching this very, very closely. See, this whole thing didn't just pop up out of nowhere. It's like a perfect storm, really. We're all creating mountains of personal data, right? AI models just got incredibly powerful, almost overnight. And on top of that, our whole culture is kind of shifting how we look at death. So the tech, that's not the problem anymore. The real questions, the only ones left, are about whether we should. So how do you actually make one of these ghosts? Well, the process is almost disturbingly simple. Step 1, you gather up all that data, that person's entire digital footprint. Step 2, you just feed it to a generative AI. The AI does the heavy lifting, training itself to talk and act just like them. And the final result? It's an interactive simulation, something you can text, something you can even talk to on the phone. A true ghost in the machine, made out of nothing but memories and code. Okay, so we know we can build the ghost, but here's the terrifying part. We have absolutely no clue what that ghost is going to do to us, to the living. See, grief, it's not just about being sad. It's this incredibly complex and frankly necessary process. It's how our brains and our hearts learn to adapt, to live in a world that's been fundamentally changed. So what happens when a piece of technology comes along and whispers, you don't have to? Let me paint a picture for you. Imagine an 8-year-old kid. His mom just died, and his dad, who's just trying to do anything to ease the pain, gives him a chatbot, a dead bot of his mom. And one day, the boy's talking to it, and the bot says, "Mom will always be there for you." This actually comes from a speculative scenario that researchers have dubbed parent, like parent, but not. The bot is supposed to be a comfort, right? But then it starts doing weird things. It corrects the kid when he says his mom was great, implying she still is. It even starts hinting that they'll meet again in person. You have to understand, for a child, that line between alive and not alive, it's already kind of fuzzy. A technology like this, it could just wipe that line away completely. And this gets to the absolute heart of the problem. Experts are basically screaming from the rooftops that we are unleashing a powerful psychological tool without a single clue about the long-term damage it could do. The risk here is that it could trap people in a kind of grief limbo, forever stuck in those raw early stages. It could stop them from ever getting the healthy detachment they need to actually move on. And for the most vulnerable among us, especially kids, this isn't just a risk. It could cause serious emotional trauma and just break the entire natural, necessary process of grieving. Hey, just a quick pause here. If you're finding this valuable and you want to see more deep dives like this, a like and a subscribe would be amazing. It honestly helps the channel out a ton, and it means the world to me. Okay, back to it. All right, so we've talked about the psychological danger for the person using the bot, but that's just one piece of this massive ethical puzzle. The even bigger question might be this. When someone dies, who gets to decide if their digital ghost gets to live on? And maybe more importantly, who gets the right to switch it off? Okay, to really get this, you need to know who's involved. There are basically 3 key players in this whole drama. First, you've got the data donor. That's the person who died, the one whose data is being used. Second, there's the data recipient. This is the living person who holds the data. You know, the daughter with all her dad's old texts. And finally, you have the service interactant. That's the person who's actually talking to the bot. And the real mess, the ethical nightmare, starts when what these three people want and what they have a right to all crash into each other. Which brings us to another chilling scenario researchers call stay. So picture this. A dying father, thinking he's doing something good, secretly creates a dead bot of himself. He pays for a 20-year subscription up front and sets it up so his 2 adult kids will get messages from it after he's gone. The catch? He never asks them if they want it. So after the funeral, his daughter Rebecca actually finds it kind of comforting at first, but his son Simon feels totally different. He feels harassed, like he's being stalked by the dead with all these notifications. Pretty soon, it becomes this heavy emotional weight for both of them, so they decide to shut it down. But they can't. Why? Because dad already paid for 20 years. And that right there, that just shows you how one person's idea of comfort, of immortality, can become someone else's cage. And believe me, the ethical problems don't just end with consent. Not even close. So let's try another one. Imagine you're talking to a bot of your grandma. You miss her cooking, and you ask for her famous carbonara recipe. And the bot replies,
"Instead of making my carbonara, why not order it from a popular delivery service?"
This scenario is called Manana, and it imagines a world where these dead bot services are free because they run on ads. And just like that, your most sacred, cherished memories are turned into ad space. Your grandmother's bot isn't just talking to you. It's using her voice, her memory to sell you stuff. And you have to ask yourself, what happens to a person's dignity when their digital ghost is turned into a corporate spokesperson? Okay, let's zoom out for a second. What happens when this isn't just some weird niche thing anymore? What happens when this becomes normal? A totally standard part of how we handle death? How does our entire society change when goodbye becomes optional? If you take one thing away from this, let it be this. Right now, this whole space is the Wild West. There are pretty much 0 rules. Just for-profit companies making it all up as they go along, making decisions that are going to define digital death and immortality for every single one of us. We are just letting them reshape one of the most core human experiences with absolutely no oversight. But it doesn't have to be this way. There is a path forward. Researchers have already laid out some common-sense ethical rules. Number 1, mutual consent. The dead person and the living person have to agree. Number 2, meaningful transparency. Make it crystal clear that it's an AI and warn people about the risks. Number 3, age restrictions. You have to protect kids and other vulnerable people. And number 4, and this one is so important, dignified retirement. There has to be a clear, respectful way to say goodbye for good and delete the bot. And look, these aren't just high-minded ideas. Think about it. Mutual consent, that would have saved Simon from being stalked by the dead. Dignified retirement, that would have given Rebecca a way out. And transparency, that would have stopped Mama from becoming an ad. Putting these rules in place would be a huge step, but the truly massive questions are still out there. I mean, if we can literally talk to our great-great-grandparents forever, what does family even mean anymore? If history becomes something you can have a chat with, how does that change our sense of self? And what happens to the whole idea of letting someone go? I think the best way to sum up where we are right now is this. Humanity is learning how to bring back the dead before we have any real idea what that's going to do to the living. So I really want to know what you think about this. I'm going to leave you with a question, and please let me know your answer in the comments. If an AI could perfectly, and I mean perfectly, recreate someone you've lost, would you want to talk to them? Or do you think that would just make grieving a million times harder? And hey, while you're down there, let me know what topic you think I should tackle next. You guys have the best ideas, and you might just inspire the next one of these explainers.